The first step is to create a database. First, we need to drop the database if it exists, but we can't drop it if it's being used. So we need to make sure we change to master. And the way we do that is we do use master. And notice how it comes up here as one of the potential databases that we can use. So we do use master and execute that statement. There, I made it a little bit bigger so you can see. And it said the command was completed successfully. What this means is we're currently using the master database. And since that's not the one we'll be deleting, then we'll be okay. We just can't drop it while we're using it. All right, so that's the first thing we do is do master. And then we want to, if it exists, we want to drop it. Now there's a new command that we can use that has just been in existence since the versions from 2016. So if you're using an older version, you won't be able to use it. So drop database if exists. All right, and this first tests if it exists. If it doesn't exist, it won't produce an error and it'll do nothing. If it does exist, then it will drop it. Now you want to be careful not to delete it. Right? So here's where you're going to set the name. So I'm going to call mine student U. And you want to be careful and not drop a database if it has data in it without backing it up first, because you can restore from a backup, but if you've got data in the tables, you want to be sure and back it up before you do that. All right, so we use master and then drop the database if it exists. You execute. And it said the command was completed successfully. Now we can test this by checking our databases over here. You need to right click on the name of your database, of your SQL server, and we want to refresh that. So this is the current instance of the server that I'm using. And I want to check databases. And notice I don't have any. There's the system databases. These exist as part of the system, and we don't want to play with those right now. Okay. And if we expand database snapshots, we have none of those. If there's a database in here, it will exist below this folder. And currently we don't have any. So we know that student U, the database, if it existed, it has been dropped. If it didn't exist, nothing was done and no error was produced. Now we're going to be doing several commands and you're going to need to turn in all of them. So we want to save them as we go. So I'm going to copy these and I'm going to save them in just a plain text file and just paste it. So I'm just using one of my plain text editors, and I'm just saving the commands that I want to use. These have worked, so we're good to save them because we know that they're valid commands. We tested them in Management Studio, they worked, and they accomplished what we wanted. So be sure and save the commands as you go.